Camera projection and unprojection allows us to transform a position in the 3D world into a screen coordinate on the screen and then back to the 3D world. So camera projection means that we are transforming from a position from the world into a screen coordinate. And we have an example right here. Just copy this and then open the script editor, and in main.lua I'm going to paste that code. Let's take a look at what it's doing. So we have our standard setup for the window and we create a camera, and then we're going to load this ship model from the web. We're going to load a font and create a text tile for displaying this. We're just going to show the word spaceship. And then we have some controls for the arrow keys to move the ship up and down and left and right. Now we're going to get the ship bounding box, and we're going to get the recursive bounding box so that it encompasses the top entity of the ship and any children that it may have in the model. And that'll just make this code a little bit more robust, so it works with more 3D models. Now what I'm doing right here is I'm creating a point, this vec3, and I'm going to set x to the center of the object's bounding box. I'm going to set y to the maximum extent of the bounding box, and I'm going to set z to the center of the bounding box. So this is going to give me the position that's basically the top of the 3D model, the very top of the spaceship in the center. And then finally we're getting the screen chord by taking this position and calling camera world to screen. And we have to supply the frame buffer because the results depend on which frame buffer we're using. And that gives us back a screen coordinate from the 3D position. And then we just call tile set position, the screen coordinate, x and y, and that should position this text tile that says spaceship right over the spaceship on the screen. And there it is. That's how you do that. So you can use this to display a player's name above their head, or many, many other things. So that's camera projection, and we're going from the world to a world position to a screen coordinate. Just to make it easier to line up, I also created this tile. I set the creation flags to text center, so it's centered horizontally, and then text bottom. So the position, the screen coordinate it's actually returning is right around here. So that's world to screen. And now we can do the opposite, which is called camera unprojection, and that's the command for that is screen to world. So let's copy this example. Select all that, get rid of it, paste that in. And this example is even simpler actually. So we're going to load our model and we're going to position it at 004, which is 4 meters in front of the camera. And then, let's see, we'll call window get mouse position, and that returns a vec3 because the scroll wheel position is stored in the Z component of that. And then we're going to call camera screen to world mouse pose.x, which is the x coordinate in screen space, mouse pose.y, which is the y coordinate in screen coordinates, and then the z value, which I've set to be 4. So we need to provide, we can't just provide the mouse coordinates, we have to provide a distance in front of the camera, because what this is going to do is it's going to shoot a ray out from that screen coordinate into the 3D world, but it doesn't know how far to make that ray go, so the z value is what tells it how far into the 3D world do we want to go forward. And then we have to supply the frame buffer as well. And when we call that, that's going to convert this screen coordinate and this distance into this position in 3D space, and then we'll just call ship set position pose. And now we can make the ship follow the mouse wherever it goes. So now we know how to translate from world to screen, from a world position to screen coordinates. And we can also translate back from screen coordinates to the world. And we just have to, the only catch is we have to supply a z value for how far in front of the camera we want this to be. Let me show you what happens if we change this to 8. Then the ship is further in front of us, right? And just for fun, let's try one more thing. Instead of doing this, I'm going to say smooth pose equals ship.position mix ship position pose, say 0.1. So I'm just going to add some smoothing. Oh, cool. Now we have a nice smooth motion for our spaceship when we move the mouse around. So that's camera projection and unprojection.